We are on. We are live. We got that shot over there of Johnny Blanket and I because we rehearsed this over and over. This is Joe the Box from the. There we go. Look at that, Johnny, right there. Hey, I was asked a little while ago, are you twins? And the answer is yes, we are. And John had explained that he is the older one.
7 minutes. Mom ran out, had a cigarette. Joe said it was a Virginia Slim.
It was a Virginia Slims extra long because it was 7 minutes long. And, you know, in the union, you get a 5 minute. Oh, wait a minute. We got breaking news. This is fantastic and unbelievable here at the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land. We have the wonderful, beautiful, talented Lisa Azzarelli. And she's zooming in from New York City. I like to say the S word, but I'm trying to be nice on this network. Lisa Azzarelli's got some news for us. What's happening in New York, Lisa?
Good morning, our American First podcast. Thank you to my awesome team here. We got Joe the Box, Johnny Blanket, we got Kevin Downey, and we got Fred Rubino. But we're also going to bring you the local and national news. First off, let's talk about Texas for a hot second. We know that Governor Abbott has officially ordered the arrest of all the Democrats who fled the state to oppose the redistricting vote. This is very important to understand that this is more than once that Democrats have fled their states in doing their duty. And so at this point, Governor Abbott has had enough. He has ordered the arrest. Hochul here in New York has set a threat out to Governor Abbott that the gloves are off if he does attempt to arrest any Democrats. Interesting, since the process here in New York to redistrict takes years and has to go through a voting process. So again, the hypocrisy. Also, covering major news is that we have the HHS adopting the ACIP recommendations to finally remove thimerosal from the influenza vaccines. This is under RFK Jr.'s direction, extremely important as there has been studies and evidence proving that the thimerosal has contributed to various illnesses amongst children, specifically autism. And so that now is going to be a major push to improving the health conditions. It's only influenza at this point, the influenza vaccine. However, there'll be more of a push to remove these harmful chemicals from other vaccines as well. That breaks as we find out that New Jersey makes a settlement of approximately $2 billion against DuPont to remove forever chemicals. This is extremely important for Americans. We know that the pesticides that have been in our food and agriculture have also done damage to the health of our American way of life. So that's another big step. Again, under RFK, we are pushing for healthier lifestyles in America. Last but not least, we have the DOJ launching a grand jury investigation into the Russiagate conspiracy allegations. We're going to have an amazing guest for you on segment 3, Vincent Marino, Homeland Security, former Secret Service agent, president of TAC Investigations will be with us segment 3. Gentlemen, back to you.
Wow, what an incredible thing that Lisa has done. She was able to come in from New York City. And we want to give you an idea of how close the warehouse is to New York City. And Lisa is on the train now, I hear. She's on the train, and she'll be coming into Ronkonkoma in a couple of minutes. She covered some very, very important points that are in the news, and I think it's a great thing. And holy mackerel. Go back to the wide shot because Lisa made it back to the warehouse in record time from New York City. Now, Freddie Rubino over there had 2 hours of traffic, so he's really confused by this. And then you got the great Kevin Downey Jr., who's spot on in a moment's notice. How are you two doing on the end of the table?
We're doing very well here. We're very impressed about the first time the Long Island Railroad has been on time in the last 18 years. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. That was very quick.
Yeah, I want to congratulate you on not getting mobbed by blue-haired gorgons. I thought for sure they'd be all over you. You know, what, being a patriot and whatnot.
It was tough.
And might I say, I feel a little insecure as the only one here without a New York accent. I might try to fake one. That's horrible.
Faking. I don't like fake. I don't like the fake news. We only like the truth around here. And I do like the idea how Lisa came in this morning and she talked about 3 big stories that are happening. And I don't really understand this Texas situation going on. So these guys are legislatures and they have to be in there for a vote, but they decided they don't like what the vote is going to be about. So they scatter to another state. And now Abbott is putting arrest warrants on them. Johnny, have you been?
They need to be there to vote, and we need to clean up the mess with, people that doesn't have a, logical sense. So they thought they could leave, so the votes were like 150 votable people in the state of Texas down to less than 100. That's how many people aren't going to show up. I just think that maybe that's an advantage to us, though. Yeah, I mean, have them send out, warrants for their arrest, but let's cast a vote with more people with logic. Yeah. I'm not sure how that works.
I think it's common sense. And listen, you 2 guys on the other end, Kevin Downer, you got any common sense left?
I do. I have more common sense every day because I used to be a New York City liberal. Now I'm not. So I get stronger and smarter every day. Excuse me. This thing in Texas, here's the fun part. The Democrats have completely gerrymandered the states of Illinois and California. And now that Texas is doing it, they're hey, what? That's our little cheat. You can't do what we do. You can't cheat the way we do. Keep in mind, they're also gavaging. They are gavaging illegal immigrants, or they were for 4 years, into the states where they want them the most, because as a former census taker, I will tell you that you do, in fact, count illegal immigrants when you go house to house. And I was at a house that had 22 people. Wow. And I had to count them all. But you know what? They wouldn't give me their names. So I was like, what do we do here? Because you need names. You can't just say 22. But that is part of their plan, to bring in all of these illegals to win over the House of Representatives forever.
Well, I can't wait. It sounds like a great place to live. Freddie, what do you think about that?
There's nothing more Texas than a roundup. Let's organize a posse. That's what he should have said. A nice posse and round them all up. I'd love to see them all arrested. Now, when you get arrested, I would love to see the workout yard in that jail. Imagine, because they're not the most masculine party, the Democratic Party. So you're going to have a lot of effeminate men from the Democratic Party all in the yard. Who rapes who? There's got to be a pecking order on that. So I would love to see them rounded up. I would love to see it. Organize a posse, get them in jail, and teach them that the laws are not just for the people of Texas, it's for also the people who run Texas. Remember, no one's above the law? What happened to that? Mm-hmm.
We all
Organize
know
a posse, I tell you.
Freddie, we all know how that works. Now, the other story, big story of the day, was all about Maha, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lisa brought to our attention that these pesticides that have been, smoking us out, they spray it all over everything. I don't know what's happening, but I do love the Maha movement. We were participated in a great organization last week up in Westchester called PERC. Sponsored by some big players. Charlie Kirk was there. Global Ascension Studios ran it. And they'll be around again this weekend for music and cultural music. And that's what I dig. I dig that's happening. So health is pretty big for you too, right, Lisa?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is absolutely important. We've seen that the vaccines and the pesticides together have done tremendous damage generationally to our American children and to our American families. And so to have a head of the health that is now finally correcting this course is tremendous. Of course, there's a lot of damage, and we hope that there will be ways that we can also help those that have already been afflicted by the various diseases and onset of mental and cognitive disabilities as a result of it. But right now, this is a great start.
Yeah, big pharmas, just got so much money. They keep putting it into these left-wing people that are out there. But they want to see us sick. They want to see us obese. They want to see us, we can use their medicine to get better. So it's a pretty scary thing that's going on.
And John, you just hit the nail on the head. They want us obese. I think one of the #1 pharmaceuticals being sold right now is weight loss stuff. So
right.
go out, eat your sugars. Eat your sugars, you salad-dodging piggies. We're gonna pump you full of Ozempic, and it's gonna cost you thousands. I firmly believe 100% what you said.
Yeah,
is true.
and that's why they put out they get the cards, they get their food and SNAP, and they're not allowed to purchase sugary drinks anymore. You know, because 10% of that was towards the sugary drinks that are making the people obese.
Yep.
And then they're going to listen to the pharmaceutical company and buy their pills so that you can lose weight.
And now Maha is trying to push natural ways to be healthy. Natural, instead of the drugs, instead of getting hit with all these things, they want to do it naturally. And that's what they're against. They don't want it natural. You know, when I was younger, if you wanted to lose weight, you went to lunch in a really bad neighborhood. So when you get out, they chased you. You had to run a mile after you got out of that restaurant. But this is the polar opposite of the Democratic and the Republican Party. The Democrats have 300,000 missing children. Most of them are confirmed that they were sold into some kind of slavery, whether it's working in factories or sex slaves or whatever that is. No one even looked for them. No one. Now, the Republicans, we're trying to save children. If this guy could even bring down the rate of autism after 6 months of being in office, that tells me they knew all along what was causing it. They're in the pocket of Big Pharma because this is the thing now. They don't solve anything, but when we're in power, we solve it right away. That's a crime.
It's sad to say, but I do see this right now. I see some major change. I see God's powerful hand sliding across the country, which is all about America first. There's only the big pockets of the major cities of these psycho people. I see them every day in New York City when I drive through. It's not a great place to be. Curtis Sliwa is going to protect us in May. We'll see you after the break.
Corrupt judges, broken families, families torn apart. This is injustice. If you've been wronged by the system, join us. Don't stand alone. Hi, I'm Gary Jacobs, president of Americans for Legal Reform. We're the oldest legal reform group in the United States. The justice system in the United States should be transparent, fair, and open to everybody and accessible. Unfortunately, many times that's not the case. At Americans for Legal Reform, we are here to help. Join the movement. Visit AmericansForLegalReform.com and help reform the system before it fails you.
Hi, my name is Elena Ruseva, aka Megalangela. Please check my art at www.megalangela.vip.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
The Queens Village Republican Club is America's oldest Republican club, founded in 1875. Situated in President Trump's hometown in Queens, New York, we are America First MAGA Republicans, empowering fellow Republicans to get involved in the game of politics at the grassroots level. We host inspiring monthly club meetings on the first Thursday of each month at 8 p.m. For more information, please go to our website at www.qvgop.org.
It's Tuesday here at the America First Warehouse. I am Joe the Box.
And I'm John the Blanket.
Freddie Rubino here from the America First Warehouse, coming to you live, the most patriotic venue in the land.
Welcome to Right for America.
I'm James Justice. We got Stephen Ruth over here. What are we doing, Steve? Fighting!
Welcome to Tune In Tuesday of the Patriots Podcast, live streaming every Tuesday night at 7:30.
Another edition of On the Right Side here, and you can catch us weekly, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
And welcome to Liberty's Cage, where we rip the veil off America's broken justice system. Prisons that crush spirits, courts that bend to power, and a society that shuns people who have paid their price.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
Where our hearts will always be. It's like my favorite song, you know. It's like this keeps playing over and over. Breaking news sometimes comes so quickly, you know, and the way you get it, we get it, is through God, through Donald Trump, and through some of our great social media sites. Kevin Downey Jr., you got something hot.
I have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. This is from the New York Post. Headline: Bill and Hillary Clinton, former attorneys general and FBI directors subpoenaed for Jeffrey Epstein testimony. I shall read this paragraph in my broadcaster's voice. House Republicans subpoenaed nearly a dozen former federal officials and politicians, including Bill and Hillary Clinton, as well as records from the Department of Justice on Tuesday, amid an expanding probe into the deceased pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. James Comey has also been pulled in. Robert Mueller, 6 ex-attorneys general, coming to testify before the House committee. Now, the left has been jumping all over this Epstein thing. Oh, Trump's a pedo. We know now Trump's a pedo. He's not. He's not on the list. He kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago for hitting on a 15, maybe 14, I forget, 14 or 15-year-old girl who was the daughter of a member. And he said, that's it, you're out. And they never spoke again. This is going to be huge, because I firmly believe there's going to be more Democrats than Republicans on this. Former New Mexico, what's his name, Richardson, the governor, former governor from, I think he's going to be on it. I wouldn't be shocked if that salad-dodging Pritzker from Illinois is on it. And, of course, Bill Clinton and Bill Gates. Remember, Bill Gates' wife said, well, one of the reasons we got divorced was because my husband, Bill, was so close with Jeffrey Epstein. I wonder what could have set her off. This is huge, and this is going to shut the blue hairs down. It's going to shut all the they-thems down, because they grasp at everything. Remember, Trump tried to take the wheel of the beast. No, he never tried that. Yeah. Trump said to drink bleach. He never said that. Trump said they're good Nazis. He never said. Every one of them, they jump on. This is their "we got him now" moment, and they lose every time. It's more fun than watching Charlie Brown try to kick a football from Lucy.
I did tell my in-laws to drink bleach, though, so let's not debunk that right away.
I think what we also need to look at is Ghislaine Maxwell and her role in all of this. It's very interesting that the DOJ sent, I believe, Pam's second-in-command, Pam Bondi's second-in-command, to go and interview Ghislaine recently. I think it was over 2 days and many hours. And so I think that we're going to glean a lot from that. Let's remember, Ghislaine Maxwell's father was a major media magnate who had another curious death off of his yacht. And so I think that her value in uncovering this is going to be way deeper than we expect, perhaps even more, because she almost seems as though she was Jeffrey's handler for the most part.
Yep, big pimpin'. Don't forget, after that meeting, they moved her from Florida to a cushy club-fed prison,
right,
where she's hanging out with women who aren't from Bronx gangs and whatnot. So now she's unless there's someone in that prison who's going to take her out, which I would find hard to believe, because it's where who's the lady who's doing stock tips from Connecticut?
Martha Stewart.
It's a Martha Stewart type thing.
I beat you on the
They're not sending her
buzzer.
a hard time. But the fact that they moved her after Ghislaine Maxwell talked, they moved her to a nicer prison, that says a lot to me.
I think they might have tricked Bill Clinton into this, coming in to testify. He heard probe, and he's like, I'm great at probing. Ask Monica. You know, I think he doesn't understand what's going on, Bill.
I think what happened in Mar-a-Lago with Jeffrey Epstein was that he was, at many of the events over there, and while he was there, he was trying to hire Trump's people that were working. So he's got his staff working, and he tried to hire them. Also lure in a lot of people in West Palm Beach to be visiting that island. There's a lot of people that are not nice people, not good people, and deserve, the truth needs to be exposed, and that's what's happening. Yep. I mean, it's exciting.
Yeah.
It is very exciting. I feel the same way. And you want to get the truth. You can get the truth here at the America First Warehouse. We want to be the voice in the wilderness. We're trying to bring, I guess, an America First twist to everything that we do. We feel very strongly in God. We love our families, and we're really blown away by the movement that's happening. So we all know Bill Clinton was bad. As a matter of fact, I recall a story that Trump, when he walks people around the White House, he says, this is the Monica Lewinsky emergency room. And I'm not sure what that means exactly, but listen, we know how evil the Clintons are. We know because they left a trail of evil behind them for many, many years. We know how evil they were when they ran the State Department, when the Clinton Federation or Foundation reached $100 billion, and the people in Haiti are still starving down there. Matter of fact, I think he moved them all into Minnesota or Detroit. Maybe, you know, who knows what's going on. But we like the truth. We love what Trump's doing. And he does a lot of funny stuff. We got any funny stuff today or what? Anything happening?
Those
Funny
poor
guys?
people in Haiti, yeah? They're like, we're going to get you out of Haiti. Here's Detroit. Oh, no. You know, Haiti's not looking that bad right now.
It's like Haiti with guns.
Yeah.
There you go, boys. Waking it up a little bit.
Catered. It's Haiti catered.
What do we do about those cities that are in control by these foreigners? I mean, what are we going to do?
You know what?
Tom Homan in there.
Yeah.
Sanctuary cities.
Here's what I don't get. Maybe someone at this table has an answer. I know that Detroit's been run by Democrats since '62, Philly since '67, Milwaukee since 1908, Chicago coming up on 100 years, 1949 for Kansas City, I believe. These are big blue toilet towns, and everyone's poor, and the violence is insane. Why do they keep voting Democrat, or are they cheating? What do you folks think?
Right.
There's no way that they're getting voted in.
They
It's
can't
got to
be.
be a cheat.
It can't be.
It's definitely a cheat. There's no way. You can't starve generation after generation after generation and convince them that they're doing well.
Yep.
Even the dumbest will know we're not doing well.
Well, that's where they're trying to clean up the voter rolls. I mean, they have a lot of illegals that are voting. And where are most of the illegals? In these big cities, these sanctuary cities. They're allowing these people to vote. That's not what our country's all about. There's a lot of work ahead of us, but Tom Homan's going to get into all these sanctuary cities because now he's upset with it to see an ICE get shot in the face. You know, enough's enough. We got to clean the place up. You know?
And I think
illegals are not voting.
Well, yeah, the illegals themselves are not voting. That's a great point, Fred. And I think that what we have to also remember is that there was a lot of evidence that came out regarding ballot harvesting that also led to information regarding algorithms within the systems themselves. And so these things also need to be investigated. It's never a one-shot kill, right? It's always going to be from multiple angles. These Democrats are not playing fairly. And you know, it's not to say that there may not be some rhinos also who are not playing fairly as well. I think the whole thing really needs to be looked at carefully.
Well, I love the way sunlight clears up a lot and disinfects a lot. It's very disturbing to me. I mean, I watch what they've done and how they've lied to everybody to take control. They lie every single day. There's nothing that comes out of their mouth. And then they try and turn it against us. Listen, Trump was right about everything. Every hoax that they ran over the eyes of the American people. And it's very hard to handle because I drive the Border 911 America First van around, and it really gets me angry. And I got American flags hanging off the side that people would spit and give me the finger and be that way when they have no idea how lucky they are. Let's root out the corruption. Let's root out the fake votes, and let's take the country over because most of us, 90% of us, want this country to be a free country.
I don't think the Democratic Party is going to leave it up to illegals to fake vote in order to stay in power. They just go in with the fake names and the fake addresses, and they just pump in thousands and hundreds of thousands of votes to fix these elections in these major cities.
Yeah, they have a video.
And the machines.
They have a video of a guy in Minneapolis. He's from Somalia, and his car is full of ballots. He goes, look, I get $5 per ballot. How many I got? I got hundreds here. It's all about money. Ilhan Omar's going to win, and I'm part of it. And he was never prosecuted because the Somalis run that district, and they're never going to go after their own party.
Let me throw some fuel on the fire.
Holy Somalia.
Yeah, holy Somalia. Fuel on the fire. I follow Tina 40 around in the Bronx, and AOC is in that area. Now, we went to, there was some news that she was going to have a rally at the school. You know, Trump's having rallies with 100,000 people in the Bronx. So she's going to have a rally, and we went in there, and there was less than 40 people. Tops. And all they wanted to do was yell at her own constituents.
Really? She only got 40?
Yeah,
Dude, it was a high school gym.
How is
They
she
never
winning?
had the numbers. It's
They're
always
lying.
been a fix. And
And
when we fix it, that's when this country turns around.
I'll add this. Having grown up within the inner city, the 5 boroughs, I will say that there, and being in the education system, I will say that they do have all of these instruments in place. So they go and they speak to people who might have the tenant associations, and they'll get them out there on their payroll, the Democrats, and they'll make sure that they go knock on those doors in the projects, and they will make those people sign by threatening them and fear-mongering them that they're going to lose their benefits if they don't. They will also set up these voting stations, like little, carts and whatnot, outside of certain eateries or facilities where they know that these people will come, and offer them breakfast as well if they come down to vote. So there is a lot of shenanigans going on behind the scenes in the way that the Democrat Party lures the votes in or gets people to sign documents.
That's why they go after these organizations. When they say these 3 organizations back me, they're not going to every one of those people in the organization. They're buying the names and social security numbers of everyone in those organizations and just sending in their votes without them even showing up.
We had a group in our warehouse at some time where they investigated the state of New York governor's race, and they found out there was 300-something thousand more votes than registered voters. How does that get by? How does that slide? Is that pathetic or what?
Because the fox is watching the hen house.
So we know it's not right.
I don't think there's been a fair election in New York City, Chicago, or Detroit, Kansas City in probably almost 100 years.
And it's not going to get any better. I'm going to take the last 30 seconds of this, and I want to just tell you, and I wish I had this, but Chuck Schumer and the Senate had told them that they went home for their recess. They're not going to put together any of Trump's and finish his nominations. And to me, that is a classic example of how they operate and how they work. They have been anti-Trump, and they're all, here's the thing, too, they're all rich. They are so rich. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, you're rich. I want to be rich, too, but actually I don't. I want God to take this country back. I want the Clintons in jail, and you know what? Throw Pelosi and Schumer in, too. Huh?
Who broke the television?
Can we laugh at that? Sounds a little mean.
As of this week, public gay sex will now be mandatory.
Parties. Am I the only one who could see his lips move? Cheekbones, baby.
I'm sorry, maybe I overreacted.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
Welcome, everybody, to the Not So Newlywed Show, where 3 couples are going to compete for really great prizes. Okay, Donna, we asked Mike, who complained first on your honeymoon, you or him?
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think he said.
Lisa, this ain't the SATs. Just tell us what. Donna, who complained first on the honeymoon?
I'm sure it was me, but I have no idea.
Shauna is right.
No, it's always me.
What celebrity would you pick for a one-day pass?
For me?
Yeah, for you, not for him.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon! Wow! Who do you hate the most on her side? That rotten no.
There are so many choices.
Thank you all, and thank you for coming out.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Your camera straight ahead.
Welcome back. Tune in Tuesdays at the America First podcast. Segment 3, we promised you a fabulous guest, and he has arrived. We have Vincent Marino. He is the president of TAC Investigations. You can find him at tacinvestigations.com. He was also a former Homeland Service, Secret Service agent as well, Federal Secret Service agent and Homeland Security investigator. He is going to help us break down what is really happening with the Russiagate hoax. And we're going to start it out with Asset One to lead us in to see what Tulsi Gabbard is saying. Please play that asset.
There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't. The report that we released today shows in great detail.
Wow. So we have Tulsi Gabbard outwardly saying that what they told us was false. Vincent, you have personal experience in this area. Can you please tell us, provide your experience in how they did not follow procedures? What is going on here?
Okay. Good morning, Lisa. How are you doing today? Thanks for having me on. All right. Okay. So we can have a big, huge discussion on this. We can summarize it. All right. The United States was opened up to a massive security risk to the use of Hillary Clinton's private email server. Right? Russians got involved. They came into contact with a bunch of our material. Okay. And in order to deflect, they came up, and I use the word they because there's multiple people. They came up with a long-term incendiary plot to disparage and demonize Trump and Putin. They utilized the Steele dossier, which is unverified report. Okay, James Comey approved and oversaw this investigation. Brennan insisted on using the investigation. Okay, and you had Democratic leaders peddling this nonsensical narrative. So at this point, you have a specific whistleblower that's trying to come forward for years. You know, after the review of this, the Inspector General's office said that it lacked a probable cause to move forward. But now we have new documents clearly indicating that Russia was not trying to help Trump win the election. And you can view these declassifications online, but there's one specific I want to pay attention to. It's dated December 7, 2016, from Clapper's office. It says foreign adversaries did not use cyber attacks on elections infrastructure to alter U.S. presidential election outcome. They had no evidence. Okay? So why do you think they did not want to have President Trump back in office? Okay, what do you think the American people are going to think because of all this? After all this, we have 2 impeachments, 30 convictions with no financial victim, a raid on his house with documents, which was a civil matter between Trump and the National Archives, but was prosecuted on the mishandling of them, even though those documents were under the watch of the Secret Service at his house, and so on. So President Trump has been playing defense on day one. So I say, as an investigator, let's let this play out. Let's see what Attorney General Bondi has, and let's see who comes into play.
Excellent, Vincent. Let me ask you as well. We know that the media has perpetuated the narrative. We know that Congressman Schiff had lied on late night shows. We know that Christopher Wray had also lied before Congress in his testimony. Right. What does this do, the media bias and in with all of it? How does it impact the evidence that may come forward?
Right. Well, first of all, they try to utilize the media to educate the uneducated, right? These late night shows, Comey, Schiff, Brennan. I mean, for God's sakes, you know, Johnny Carson will be rolling over in his grave. Adam Schiff specifically went online and said, on TV, and said, you can't see what we have, but we have evidence that Trump is a Russian spy. Warren, Swalwell, all of them said it was a foreign agent, an agent from a foreign country. You know, our founding fathers would have tried these people for treason and hung them up by noon, because, you know, in my book, freedom of speech goes out the window when it comes to violence and national security. Now, you got to look at the publicity of the FBI and the damage that all this has done. You take a guy like Roger Stone, 70-year-old man, arrested at 6 a.m., 17 vehicles, amphibious boats, long guns, and they just happen to have CNN on the side. That is an absolute embarrassment. And what's even worse is that, you know, when you're a federal agent, you have an operations plan. That operation plan goes up the chain. So every supervisor in that field office had signed off and agreed with what took place, okay? Christopher Wray, you have him going before Congress and saying that the laptop, he doesn't know where the laptop is. His own agency is in possession. He's not saying where it is, okay? He directed his agents towards the Catholic Church and parents speaking out in schools. You have Brennan testifying in Congress that the Steele dossier did not play a role in his assessment, which we know that was a lie. And you have, you know, Comey with his press conferences and late night shows. He was found improperly leaking information to the news. DOJ decided not to prosecute him. And now his most recent antic with this 8647 beach thing. I mean, you are the leader of the premier law enforcement agency in the world. What are you doing? This is it's almost like a dark comedy. So there's extreme damage to the intelligence community because they all manipulated and manufactured intelligence that falsely claimed, you know, who helped Trump. It's a shame.
Wow.
Kevin.
Sir, can I ask you, I see a lot of people in the news throwing the word treason around. Is this going to come up to that? Is this how bad this whole thing has been?
Well, you look from the outside in and it looks terrible. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's still very early in this game. Treason, you know, is a serious word in 2025. You know, as an investigator looking in, let's just see who was actually involved and what was actually said. You know, you have to realize something. All these, you know, you'll see charges coming out, possibly like obstruction of justice and all these other kind of charges. You know, that statute of limitations constantly gets renewed the minute they open out their mouth and you know, say the same thing. They renew what they're saying. So this could be going on forever, and these people don't realize it. So it was very important that they did not have Trump in office a second time, because you're going to have this being exposed.
Wow. Thank you.
You know, I couldn't wrap my head around all this time about why they were pushing Trump is a spy, a Russian spy. It was this very specific thing. And until Mr. Marino just cleared it up in my head that Hillary had all those emails and that the Russians have a lot of that and compromised the security of the United States. And in case that comes out, that Russia has all of this information, how do we mess that up? How do we cover that? That's why they did it. They said Trump is a asset of the Russians, and that's how they're going to cover themselves up. Thank you, Mr. Marino.
No, you're welcome. And it's a massive cover-up for a massive failure, you know, with the Clintons. And if that's the fact, if this is true, that the Russians have all this information, why wouldn't they want Hillary Clinton in office to have all that blackmail against her?
Sure, blackmail.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Right?
Right. She would be the perfect Manchurian candidate.
Right.
I believe she sold to Seoul. She sold to Seoul many, many years ago. So this is, you know, can you just fill me in a little bit of your history? How did you get to this point and that you have this kind of information?
So I spent 6 years with the Secret Service, and I spent 15 with Homeland Security investigations. Okay, I'm constantly up on the political views. You know, I worked with Dan Bongino. We are friends. You know, I follow the FBI, and I listen to both sides. I'm one of the guys that if I see something on Fox News, I'm going to flip to CNN to see what their take is, and then I try and figure it all out. The problem that I'm having over the past few years is that whatever I see on, you know, say a conservative show like a Fox News, it's not being broadcasted, it's not being shown. I mean, take the immigration problem it's a crisis that's had over the past couple of years, okay? This was an absolute crisis. I had friends at the border. I received emails. I had a level above top secret clearance. So I received all these emails that were coming back on what the border was entailing, what was taking place. Nothing was being portrayed. And you know, when Mr. Mayorkas was coming into New York for a period of time, I was protecting him. I was driving him around. Nicest guy in the world. When he took over as the head of Homeland Security, I defended him. I said, this guy's going to be great. And then all of a sudden, you know, there's no problem at the border. So this media, this whole thing is a big problem. But whenever you see these things, if you want to be educated, you got to jump online. You got to start reviewing these things, and you know, talk to your old peers, talk to your old friends who are still in the game, which I do on a regular basis, and you know, trying to make your determinations from there on where you stand.
Yeah, one of the things that used to get my goat all the time is watching the caravans of thousands of people walking through the whole country of Mexico. Can't wait to get to our border, and we never turned them around. We just welcomed them in. It's
They were wearing Biden shirts.
Right.
Could you imagine 1,000 Biden shirts?
But there's nothing there to see.
We got about a minute and a half left, sir. So you are no longer part of the Secret Service or hired by the government, and you are using your own ability and your own beliefs. I'm assuming a higher power is directing you.
I'm doing my research on my own from a higher power, making sure everything is correct in what I'm saying, and making sure that I'm fully aware of what's taking place in this country.
Do you still carry a security intelligence that you get briefing on what's going on, or that once you retire, that's the end of it? Or
No, listen, once you retire, that's the end of it. I keep in touch with my friends, whatever they're permitted to tell me, like they'll we'll speak about. But if if it's classified, I still have a top secret clearance, okay? But that doesn't mean I can just walk into any kind of conversation. It's basically a top secret clearance is on a need to know basis.
But all these people that are named in this case, now they lost their security clearance through Tulsi?
I believe they're revoking. I believe they're revoking their security clearances. Yeah.
Could you bring him back? I got more questions.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, amazing.
Can you stick around for another segment? Do you have time for us? Because we'd love to clobber some more and get out some truths, because that's what we love around here at the America First Warehouse. I'm here with my great friends Kevin Downey Jr., Freddie Rubino, Johnny Blankets, Joe the Box, and Lisa Azzarelli.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
Are you a musician, comedian, actor, filmmaker, or artist who stands for traditional American values? Do you believe in the preservation of our nation, our culture, and our freedoms? If you share our passion for America and want to use your talents to make a difference, we want to hear from you. Our mission is clear. Through the arts, we uphold the principles of freedom, faith, family, and the American spirit. It's time to step up to the mic and make your voices heard. So contact us at AmericanConservativeArtists.com.
Good morning. It's me, Joe the Box, wearing my Border 911 hat signed by Tom Holman, Rodney Scott, and Sarah Carter. The country has had enough. The American Horror Story is over. Border 911. Tom Holman is coming through. My brother's son, my friends' children. We're done with it. 100,000 were lost lives every single year. God bless you, Tom.
The Queens Village Republican Club is America's oldest Republican club, founded in 1875. Situated in President Trump's hometown in Queens, New York, we are America First MAGA Republicans, empowering fellow Republicans to get involved in the game of politics at the grassroots level. We host inspiring monthly club meetings on the first Thursday of each month at 8 p.m. For more information, please go to our website at www.qvgop.org.
America First Warehouse. was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country. Yeah, boy, we are back here at the America First Warehouse. I'm Joe the Box.
And I'm John the Blanket.
And we are here at the America First podcast. We have a tremendous guest on board with us. I mean, I love the police so much. I love what they do because they put their lives on the line every single day for us. They don't get $250,000 a year. These politicians have been stealing from us. The Hillary Clinton fiasco between the Russia, between all that she has done, the laptop that Anthony Weiner has given to the FBI. I think there's probably a lot to do with that. So, I mean, it's so involved and so tied in. So many great people are involved, sir. Do you feel that this could be unspaghettied or broken up and really to narrow down the specific crimes that these people are involved in?
So this is a big one, right? And whenever I had a complex case as a federal investigator, I always worked from the bottom up. So I would find the people who had, the least involvement, but were still liable or could still be charged with a crime, and I would start with them. And say if there was 5 people, then you would hope 3 of those people would then testify and cooperate. And then you kind of work your way up. The world's a big place. You got to make it smaller, and you got to confine it to, your main charges that you want to do. So it is this, like I said, in the beginning, like you could have a PowerPoint and you could sit here for, 10 hours pointing fingers. I think you really just got to narrow it with the people at the bottom and just kind of work your way up and just see where it lands.
It's so obvious to we the people, right? That they're so guilty, Kevin. Right? Yeah. You see it, or
not only do I see it, Mr. Moreno, of all these big players, which one do you think should be panicking the most right now?
Good question. Listen, you have Clapper, you have Comey, you have Brennan, and you know what? I guarantee you, Jack Smith is not sleeping right now either. So I think, and quite honestly, I didn't even know how you handle the Hillary Clinton thing. Her, and that could be like an own separate entity on this. Mm-hmm. So, but the people spewing the misinformation, the Clappers and the Brennans and the Comeys, I think you'll hear those names again shortly.
I saw a statistic that over the last 4 years, the top 10 most wanted for the FBI, not one of them was apprehended. And in the last 6 months, we've apprehended 4 out of the top 10. So doesn't the FBI over the last 4 years before that have to account for not doing their job? Isn't that a federal offense, getting paid to do a job that you don't do?
Well, it's all an interpretation, I guess, right? They focus there, a new administration comes in and they focus in on something else. Look, if I was an FBI agent and I went from, James Comey to Christopher Wray to, Kash Patel with Dan Bongino behind him, I think things are going to change a lot quicker. I worked with Dan, he's a serious guy and, he's no nonsense. And I guarantee you right now, he's having an extremely hard time trying to digest everything that he's observing at this point. So I do think with those two, they're going to change. I can tell you as a federal agent, it was kind of difficult working with the FBI on cases. And that's not just coming from me, that's coming from other agencies and local police departments. So I'm really hoping that Dan and Mr. Patel really just straighten that out and they do become the premier law enforcement agency in the world once again.
Well, Dan said he was shooken to the core on what he has already seen, that we don't know yet, too. And then what confuses me is they're so big and they could be so sloppy to have these bags of information that were intended to be burned, and now they found them at the FBI headquarters?
Right. So, going to the burn bags. So how we used to do it is, we had our sensitive, you got to remember, like I was with the Secret Service, so I had operational plans for the President of the United States. And when I switched over to Homeland Security Investigations, I had international, complex investigations, all those notes and plans and whatnot. We would take those papers, put it in a box. Okay, we would tape it up. We would mark it burn box all the way around. We put it off in a designated area. When that designated area got filled, say it was the hallway with 50 boxes, we would then designate 2 people to go and bring it to the burn facility, and we would actually physically watch them burn. Okay, burn bags, especially outdated burn bags. I mean, that is so outrageous. And quite honestly, at this point, I wouldn't even think that's a violation of policy because everybody working there knew about it and probably figured, it's safe, don't worry about it. It's amazing that they would have burn bags sitting around that's not even shredded, just with information just piled in a facility. I'm always under the feeling like nothing's ever secure when multiple people are involved. And this is proof of it.
So if it's a burn bag, obviously it needs to be destroyed ASAP. So there is a chance that there are burn bags out there that are in the hands of people who shouldn't have them right now. Isn't that a definite possibility?
Well, I don't know if they should be. They should be secure they should be secure in a locked facility. They should only people like myself, federal agents who put them there, should only have access to it. Okay, but it doesn't help that now someone can go back who's making an investigation and go back 10 years or 5 years or 3 years and start zipping through burn bags who have the legal authority to do that, and that's what you're seeing right now. This was pretty much a coup against President Trump, and we're finding notes. And my thing is, why not go into a secure room? If you're planning this big giant, coup, find yourself a SCIF. And for what people don't know what a SCIF is, SCIF is a sensitive compartmentalized information facility. Okay, it's basically a secure room. No watches are allowed. No phones are in there. You go in there and you talk. You figure out your national security, whatever needs to be figured out, and then you come out. I just can't believe that we're finding emails and burn bags with notes and all this other kind of stuff on something at this level that is pretty much worldwide news and is an absolute national security issue.
It sounds like they were just plotting ahead to hold that against somebody. So they didn't destroy that burn bag. There's got to be a reason for it. Somebody has a reason.
Right, it's working in our favor right now as the truth comes out. However, you have to say, is it God's hand, right? Sometimes you have to wonder why it worked out this way. However, it is very interesting that they didn't follow protocol. And we see, like you said, they didn't go into a SCIF room. Was it just that they were that cocky and confident that they were going to get away with it?
Who knows? I mean, listen, I would never, ever, ever put anything in an email or document anything that was even in a gray area. Like, I mean, this is not even gray information. Like, you know what I mean? This is just flat out, going against the president of the United States, plotting an attempt, So I don't know how they get to that point where not to worry about what's in an email. It's all transmittable. It's all retrievable.
And something else interesting, Vincent Marino, that they had 20 CIA and FBI agents also recently come out this week saying that they couldn't, I guess, they attempted to say there is no Russian interference, and still they were ignored, intimidated, kept quiet, which is also very interesting and harmful to inside the intelligence community, correct? So
it's correct.
The employees themselves, the agents themselves, kind of worked under duress, and how does that impact the agency overall?
Well, the morale is very, very low when that happens, and then you just stop caring, and you just go, what's the difference? Nothing. I remember under the last administration, working cases, and the federal prosecutors didn't want to prosecute. And you go, what am I putting my life on the line for? For 6 months, I'm sitting up in the Bronx, I'm up in Harlem. This is a gun case. It's, international dope. And, nobody wanted to prosecute because they had their attentions towards something else. So when you have people like just saying, hey, listen, we don't have this information. This cannot be let out. And somebody like John Brennan says, I'm overruling that. We're using this. That's a big morale problem. And people aren't going to do their job correctly in the future. And you're having these people are in charge of national security. The boots on the ground are really the ones who are in charge of the national security. Senior agents like myself, we do all the dirty work at the ground level to send up the chain so people can make their decisions. And that is not the right way of doing it.
It's crazy. We got 2 minutes. Kevin, you got a quick question. Then I want to find out where we can reach this man and what he does with his band.
Thank you, Mr. Moreno. Do you think the Trump administration can flush these deep state swamp wigglers out once and for all in the next 3.5 years?
So Trump made a genius move that really nobody's picking up on. He nominated Judge Jeanine Pirro for the D.C. U.S. Attorney. So a lot of people aren't talking about that. That is an ally of Trump. She's realized what has taken place, and God forbid this ends up in her district and she's in that courtroom. Heads are going to roll and grab your popcorn because she's a pit bull and she's going to get to the bottom of it.
Thank you.
We got almost a minute left. I understand that you love music like I do. I'm a music maniac myself. What instruments do you play? Tell us about your band, where we can reach you. We got 1 minute left. I'm giving it all to you, my friend.
All right. I'm in a law enforcement band. We're called When Pigs Fly. You can reach us on When Pigs Fly Long Island on Instagram. We're on Facebook, When Pigs Fly. Our next show will be on October 3rd for Happy Hour at Lily Flanagan's in Babylon. And we also do a lot of events for Nassau and Suffolk County Police. So please, if anybody needs any help with anything, please let us know. We'll be happy to assist in any way possible.
One of those little police cards would be good for me in my window. I'd like to get away with everything that I can except murder, is what I understand.
I'm Italian. I want to get away with murder.
So what instrument do you play? We still got 25 seconds left.
I'm the drummer. I'm the guy in the back that nobody really cares about. So
what kind of kit do you have?
You know what? I have an electronic Roland, and I also bought a Premier Heritage 100 kit. It's a nice little trap kit. I could bring it. I just took it to Fire Island this week. Sounds awesome, and it packs up in 2 bags.
Nice.
We got a great event, the Journey Band, coming up in about a week. I wish you'd come by and see it because maybe we can have you play. God bless you, sir.
What an honor.
I'll be there. Thank you.
All right.